Hi. So today is gonna be our last video for our web development series, YouTube series. This was JavaScript's last video. This is gonna be the eighth video, and the title is Event and Event Listeners. So let's just go right into it. So we're gonna be discussing the introduction to events. So this is going to be our introduction. So what I'm going to say that what are events? So you should remember and you should understand that events are user actions, like whatever the actions, whatever the user performs, like clicking or typing or mouse movements that triggers a response in the web browser is called an event. So like any user action is called an event. In JavaScript, user event listener to listen for the action and execute specific functions. Like event listeners are those which listens for actions and execute specific tasks. Like you say to him, we gotta perform this, we gotta perform that. So it's gonna listen it and it's gonna perform the task accordingly. So what are types of events? So there are multiple types of events. So there are as click, input, and key down. So what is click? Trigger when an element is clicked. Whenever you click the mouse, an element is clicked. So that's an event. So input. Triggered when a user types a text field. Whenever you try to type something, it's gonna be input. You're inputting something inside the function, inside the event. It's type of event. Key down. What is key down? A trigger when a user processes a key on the keyboard. Presses, not processes. Triggers when a user presses a key on the keyboard. Whenever you press any sort of key, it triggers, and that is known as key down. That's the last event what we have. So let's have a basic example of this click event. We're going to be discussing click event inside input event, and we're going to be discussing inside key down event. So we'll be discussing this through our JavaScript code. So for that, you already know we're going to be writing the basics of HTML inside. We're going to be writing a boilerplate, and inside we'll just add some buttons, and we'll say that okay, we want to input ID, and inside that we're going to be saying okay, paragraph. Then we're going to say the button is clicked. Whenever we're going to try to do something, it's going to let us know that what are we performing. Like if I press the backspace key, it's going to tell us okay, the backspace key was pressed. If I click the space key, it's going to tell okay, the space key was pressed. If I press B or H or A or I or V, whatever I press, it's gonna tell that okay, you pressed this key. So let's get right into it. So as you know, this is our HTML code. We're gonna be writing our boilerplate, which is exclamation mark, and then you're gonna press enter. The boilerplate is gonna be presented inside this document. You could change whatever you want. I'll just say event examples because these are just examples. I just wanna tell how it works. So inside this body tag, we're going to be writing the main component of our data. So in this body, we'll add a h1, which is called a header one, and inside we're going to say event, not listener, event. These are examples. I said okay, it's gonna be written inside a heading number one. So over here I could add the button ID, and I could say I'm gonna be adding a button, and inside it's gonna be written click. It's a click button. Whenever we're gonna click it, then it's gonna be used. Click button, and on top of it, it's gonna be written click me. So that's a button. So after that, I could add the input ID, and I inside over here I could say text input. This is a text input, and the type is text. And over here I could add some more information. I could say I wanna make it a placeholder, and over here I could say yeah, type here or type something, whatever I want. If I just want to make it unique, I could just write type something. I could just add dot 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 dot. So it's gonna understand okay, you have to type something over here. You're gonna be understanding all of this when we're gonna be executing our web page, and then it's gonna be making more sense. So I'll add a paragraph over here, a paragraph tag over here, and I could say ID, and over here I could say display key, And over here, we could add our main component. Over here, this is a little red right now. We could fix this right now. 1 second. We'll just remove all of this right now. Let's go all the way back. Now over here, I'll add a paragraph. I'll say ID over here. I'm gonna say display key, and after this, we're gonna be closing closing it accordingly. Close the bracket, and over here, paragraph is closed. So this is how you do it. So I could save the web page and execute it right now, and I could see what have we created with our HTML, because later on we're going to be writing JavaScript inside and we're going to be doing cool stuff with that. So I could save this over here, right click over here, and I could say reveal in file explorer. It tells this is index.html, and over here it's saying event examples. That's going to be our heading. You see that the title was event examples 2, event examples, and click me, type something. You see the type something, whatever I write now, like hi, I write over here, I click it, nothing's happening over here. It's not telling me which button am I clicking, or if I click over here, it's not gonna present a toggle option or something. Nothing's happening right now. Why? Because we didn't write our our JavaScript code right now. So let's go back in our this dev C++. It's called Visual Code Studio, sorry. So back in our Visual Code Studio. So after this paragraph, we could be adding our JavaScript after this. So we could write script tags. As you know, there are three types of writing scripts. JavaScript. One is inline, one is line, and one is internal, one is external, one is inline. So we're going to be not using inline, we're going to be using internal. Inside our HTML, we're going to be writing a different bracket over here, and we're going to be saying, okay, we want to be writing our JavaScript within this. So you should just ignore this. This is just extra. It's just helping me write the code. It's just saying that you could write these code. This is going to be it's just using AI. But no, we don't want to be using AI. We want to be understanding what we're writing. So we could add a comment over here. I want to add a comment. In the comment, I could say click event. Adding comments are really nice. It gives you like a basic understanding on what you're writing. This is the proper thing what I want to be writing. I want to be making um I want to be writing the code in which I say the click button. Whenever you click the button, it's gonna tell that the button was clicked. Every time whenever you click it, it's gonna tell the button is clicked. This is called a click event. So I'll just write the code by myself. I'll say document get element by ID, and over here inside the bracket I could say click button. I'm giving a basic practice to you. So over here, after that, I could add another dot, and I could add event listeners over here. And then over here, whenever we click the button, click, it's gonna be adding a function inside. So over here, I could open both brackets over here, equal to sign over here. 1 second, equal to sign, lesser than sign, and I could close the bracket accordingly. And I could add an alert in which is gonna help us know that the button was clicked. So this is how you write the click event. You're gonna be writing document get element by ID. You're gonna tell okay click button. Why did you write click button over here? When you come over here, we wrote click button over here. So this is a button ID. You could write whatever you want. You wanna write button over here, you gotta write button over here. So it's gonna locate that. So we told that we added a click button of add event listeners, and then we click the button. Whenever it's gonna click, it's gonna give us an alert over here, and the alert's gonna be button clicked. I could write button was clicked, so it's gonna let us know the button was clicked. So we see over here everything is totally fine. We see that we added every single thing over here. So we could save this, go on our page, and over here we could refresh it, and over here we could add hi. So when we're going to click it, it's going to be saying that this page says button was clicked. So this is perfectly fine. This is the click event. So you see everything is working. Our code was really simple. We just wrote that the click event, we added the document get element by ID, click button, add event listener, clicked, and then the button was clicked. It's going to give us an alert, and everything's going to happen accordingly. So after this, we could add another one over here. We could say input event. We can add an input event. Whenever we're going to input something, it's going to tell, okay, this was input inside. So we could say document get element by ID. We're saying get element by ID inside the bracket will, not this bracket, in this bracket we're going to say text input. And over here we're going to be adding another thing. We're going to be saying add event listener. We're adding event listener too. And over here we're going to be saying, okay, whenever we click it, it's going to make the function. Click. No. Sorry. That I just messed it up with the last one. Over here, the click one was for click event. Over here, whenever we're going to input something, we're going to say input. Sorry. Wait, sorry. Okay, over here, add event listener. Over here, we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna be opening a bracket over here. Sorry. So over here, whenever we're gonna be inputting something, whenever we input, over here we open a bracket. Over here, the event is gonna be displayed. Whenever the event's gonna be displayed over here, we could write an equal to sign and lesser than sign, and then just tap it. So it's gonna say, okay, we got the element. We didn't have to do this. Sorry, my throat was a little messed up. So we could write over here console.log. I'll explain every single thing once again because I know I was kind of coughing. So user type. Over here we're gonna add a comma, and over here we could say event target. Then we could say value. Tab. Yes. So as we saved it and we saw over here, we saw over here that there's not that big of a difference over here because this is just an input event. Is whenever we're gonna input something, then it's gonna be understanding, okay, we inputted this. So we'll just go right next to our next function, which is Keydown Event. So whenever we're gonna be clicking some key, whenever we're gonna be displaying something, it's gonna be telling, okay, we displayed this key. So it's really interesting. Let's go over here. Right below this, we could add key down, not key up, key down event. Over here, I'm adding a key down event. Okay, I could say document dot add event listener. So here in the brackets, I could say key down and comma. And over here, I could say event. I could give equal to lesser than, and then I could open the bracket accordingly. So over here, yeah. So over here we added another document add event listener. Over here we added document get element by ID. Over here we said display key inner text inner content. I'll say content. Inner content is equal to you pressed whenever the key is going to be pressed, and it's going to add another. Now let's just save our code, and then let's go on our web page, and we could refresh it over here. And now over here we could say hi. So we see the key pressed whenever we're going to press any single thing. Look, I'm going to press backspace. It said the key press is backspace. Now I'm going to press space. It's not going to tell us space. It's going to say it's empty. Now I'm going to say H, then I, T, E, the backspace. If I press enter, it's going to tell enter. If I press shift is active. Caps lock is active. So any single thing, whenever we do something, we could add things like that. So I close my caps lock. So this is how you add these events over here. So now we're going to be making an activity, and the activity is enhance a to-do list. So we could screw all of this right now. We could remove all of this over here, whatever we wrote over here, and let me tell you what's the goal. So the goal is to add a strike through effect when an item is clicked. demonstrate click event and event objects. So I don't know if you got it right now, but I want to be making a web page over here. They're going to be to-do lists. So it's going to be like wake up, brush the teeth, have breakfast, and then start doing work. You could click them whenever you're going to left click them. They're going to automatically cross. We want to be making that cool thing by the help of JavaScript. So let's just get right into it and let's just start writing our code over here. So let's just add by making our boilerplate over here. We could make our boilerplate, and over here in the title we could change the title. I could say enhanced to-do list. So this is an enhanced to-do list. Inside the body, I'm gonna be no. Let's add a little CSS tool to just make it. We're not gonna be adding that much of CSS. We're just gonna be adding one line of CSS. So it's CSS is always under the title tag, as you know. So over here we added style. We add the style tag. We're just using everything inside our HTML. We're not making separate files for them and then logging. We're not going to connect them. That's going to be it's going to take really long. And I don't suggest you to do it if you're just adding one single piece of code. So let's just open the brackets over here, and over here we could say text decoration, and we could say line through. We just want to do this whole thing in with our CSS code. So we could just save this over here. This is gonna strike. Whenever we're gonna strike something, it's gonna text decoration and it's gonna do line through over here. So this is what we wanted to do. So over here inside the body tag, we could be writing our main things. Our HTML is gonna be doing the main thing. So okay, I could say to do list. It's gonna be in heading 1. It's gonna be letting us know, okay, so to do list. So over here UL unordered list. Over here I could say UL. Wait, one second. UL ID, and over here I could say to do list. I could say, okay, I want to be adding a to-do list over here, and then the UL is closed. So over here I could add a list li, and over here I could say learn JavaScript. That's our task right now. We're trying to learn JavaScript. Then we'll add another list over here, and over here we could say build a project. That's gonna be the future video, which is about to come. So the last list is gonna be review DOM manipulation. If you don't know what DOM manipulation is, you should watch the previous video from the channel. I even taught you what is DOM manipulation and how every single thing works in it. So this is how we're going to be adding our UL over here, unordered list, and over here we add the list tags over here. Everything, we could just save this, go on our web page, and we could refresh this, and it's going to say to-do list, learn JavaScript, build a project, review DOM manipulation. Now you see over here, whenever I'm going to click over here, nothing's going to happen. Now let's add our JavaScript, and let's see the magic what's gonna happen over here. So after the body tag no after the UL tag, before the body tag, body closing tag, we can add script, and over here we could say, okay, I'll just add comments, get the to-do list. We want to get done with the to-do list. Okay, over here I could say constant to-do list. I want to be adding the to-do list over here. I could say equal to sign over here, and I could say document dot get element. I want to get the element by ID over here. So inside this, inside the brackets, I could say to-do list, and I could close the bracket accordingly. So yeah, over here I could add another comment over here if I want, and I could say add event listener to the list. Just making it really simple. Shit, I almost messed up over here. It was constant. Sorry, I forgot the T. One single mistake is gonna cost you a lot, and then you gotta review your whole code once again. So now over here we added an event listener. So okay, I could say to do list, add event listener, And over here we could, inside the bracket, we could say click. Sorry. I could open the bracket over here, and okay, I could say over here. I said click. Over here, I add an function. I didn't add a function. I wanted to add an event over here. So I added an event over here, and over here, I just, after adding the event, I could use x equal to lesser than signs over here. This is gonna help us a lot. One second. One second. One second. Yeah. That. So we added equal to and then lesser than sign over here. Then we opened the bracket, and over here we said check if a list item was clicked. Check if the target is a list item. No, I want to check if the list item is clicked. Check if a list item was clicked. I want to check if the list item is clicked, and over here I'm gonna add event target tag name equal to li, and over here we could add the toggle. Over here we're gonna customize something. The toggle strikes. Oh no, I don't know single strikes class. So we're gonna see the toggle strike class. Over here we could say event target class listen. Then inside the toggle we could. So now we could save our code, and we could go back in our web page, and now we could refresh this. Now we could see what's the magic. Now learn JavaScript. I clicked over here, you see it crossed out. Like if I'm done, this is my to-do list. I have like so many functions over here. I have like uh 20 or 30 tasks to do, and I don't know which one am I done with. So learn JavaScript. I already know JavaScript, so I could cross it over here. Build a project. I already built a project. I could cross it over here. Now you could know, okay, how many tasks are left. Okay, now you got to review DOM manipulation. When you're going to be doing this, you could cross this one out too. Then you know, okay, I already checked out my to-do list. So this is really amazing, and I have a task for you to do. What I want you guys to do, I want you guys to. So I asked the viewers to add more event types. Add more event types. These are just like three. Like a double click. And you could add double click. I added single click over here. You could add double click. And you could do double click to remove items from the list. You could just do it like this. Single click to add stuff. And double click to remove stuff. Right now, like it's single click for adding, single click for removing. So it's like that. So you could just make it a little tricky. You could say, okay, whenever you double click it, then it's going to be removed. That's the it's your task to do. If you have any sort of questions, any sort of problems, feel free to comment down below. We're always here to help you out. We're always going to help you out with what's the problems with it. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next project videos. The project video is going to come hopefully in 2 to 3 days. So hopefully you're going to like that as well. And give a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. So stay tuned for the next series. So probably we're working on SQL series. So we're going to be starting SQL after this series, but we have a little project videos for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the project videos and other videos. Thank you.